Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Going to spend some time talking to a couple ladies with a great group called a new company called West Houston Rehabilitation Center. And Robin Binkley is very good friend. She is married to one of my very good friends. There we go. I can get this out eventually. Brett Binkley, a shout out to him, one of my favorite people. And Dawn Schoree, both with the center. Good to see both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to have you on the program. Why don't we start off with a little bit of the history of the company? Robin, kind of give us a background. I mean, it is real new, 2015.
It is really new. Our company is out of San Antonio, actually. We've got 5 buildings in the Houston and San Antonio market, and most recently ours was opened in the month of March. So we've been admitting residents for long-term and skilled rehab services here in the Southwest market.
Very good. Kind of give us an overview, Dawn, of exactly the kind of services you do.
Well, we can do short-term skilled nursing, so physical, occupational, and speech therapy. We're able to take residents as they discharge from the hospital and work with them to gain their strength and stability back so it's safe to go home. But we can also do the long-term care for those of our residents who need to stay with us for the long term.
Yeah, okay, very good. And so it started in San Antonio. How old is it in San Antonio Robin?
About 5 years.
5 years.
Old. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so how many beds do you have altogether? Do you know?
I have 124 beds in my facility. So we're able to accommodate a wide range of resident needs from semi-private to private rooms.
So tell me about the area you're covering. Obviously, you're kind of posturing yourself. Talk a little bit about this, Dawn. The name says West Houston, but do you have clients from all over the greater Houston area, or kind of give us a coverage?
Oh, yes, sir. We have residents from the Katy area. We get referrals from the Sugarland area. We'll do Cypress. We can do north of town. I know that we've had an out-of-state referral, but we also work with the Med Center. So we're kind of just Houston proper as a whole. And then the suburbs.
Houston proper as a whole. Houston proper, I've only heard that in one other place. You know where I heard that in?
Where?
In Urban Cowboy. And it became, I'm making fun of you here, I'm sorry, but it became a laugh line for years afterward. No one ever uses the expression Houston proper, because Houston isn't proper. But anyway, that's hilarious. I love that. You're the only other person I heard use that. But I know exactly what you mean when you describe that. Robin, give us an overview of the kind of services that you provide and what kind of rehab that you do.
Some infusion management, lots of IVs, wound care, certainly. We work with residents who have some ortho needs, some hip and knee replacements, PT, OT, and ST, short-term rehab, and some long-term needs as well.
Mm-hmm. And so, like Dawn, when she says long-term, how long-term?
Until end of life.
Really? So it can actually serve in that kind of capacity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting. And so I guess in some cases, Robin, they'll start off not knowing they'll be there that long, and unlike in some situations where they'd have to move to a different facility, you can just take care of them until the end of life. That's got obviously a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they can transition. So we have had short-term stays as minimal as 5 to 10 days. And those residents who have needed to stay 30, 60 days and have needs that require longer stays as well.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And by the way, the website over there is westhoustonrehab.com, westhoustonrehab.com. What's the parent company called in San Antonio? Can't be called that.
Momentum Skilled Services.
That would just be a weird name.
That would be.
I think it'd probably be offensive to most in San Antonio. It's like, what are they doing here?
Houston.
But then again, colleges can put themselves anywhere, right?
That's right.
I guess it doesn't matter that much. And so getting started early, are you meeting or exceeding your expectations?
We are exceeding our expectations.
Okay.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how many square foot? Do you have any idea, Dawn, how large the facility? Or no, they're both shaking their head no, and they're doing it in a painful expression. So I'm guessing that means no.
Licensed beds, we can tell you.
You talk about it in beds.
Footage.
That makes sense. Sure,
yes.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
And in Dawn, how many beds do you typically have occupied at any one time? percentage-wise, either one of you?
Right now, we're still growing.
Right.
We're working hard to bring in residents, and as we're growing, we've been able to stay. Right now, this week will be in the mid 70%, and
correct.
going from there.
Wow.
So we've been doing really well.
Really well in a short period of time.
And where do they typically come from, Robin?
We're seeing most of our clientele right now come from West Houston Hospital, and from the Atrium and some other pocketed hospitals. We're also seeing a large influx of the Asian community itself, referrals within the Asian community from home. We've got residents
Really?
coming in.
That's
Yes.
interesting.
So it's really kind of in a little international melting pot in that area of town.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I'm delighted we were able to spend some time talking about it. What are some of your goals for 2015 for the facility?
Well, certainly our most important goal is quality customer service and care. When you do those things, then you know everything else is falling in place. And we want to make sure that our residents and families feel heard and feel like their needs are being attended to, and that we're doing that in a prompt, expedient manner.
Great. And Dawn, final thoughts?
Well, I agree with Robin. Obviously, our residents and their satisfaction is our number one goal, but to continue to grow and spread the word throughout Houston about West Houston Rehab and the services that we have and offer. And then hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have a waiting list be full.
That would be great.
That would be excellent.
Yeah. Or better still, everybody get better. But anyway, we know what reality looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With the demographics out there and baby boomers, it's just really very timely what you guys are doing,
It is.
obviously.
It is.
So, all right, Dawn Schoree and Robin Binkley. And make sure you tell Brett I said howdy. It's time for him and I to grab lunch again.
I will do that.
We do our every other month lunch. And
There
so
you
we're
go.
about due for
You're
that.
due.
He's a great guy. West Houston Rehabilitation Center. That is westhoustanrehab.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here does show up over there at usdailyreview.com. And you're listening to The Price of Business.